बीजाय
नाद्याय बीजाय
ज्ञान विज्ञान मूर्तये
ज्ञानविज्ञानमृतये
ज्ञानेन्द्रिया मनोबुद्धिर्
ज्ञानेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धि
विकारैर्व्यक्तिमीयते
हरे व्यक्तमीयुचे
नमाद्याय बीजाय
नमाद्याय बीजाय
ज्ञान विज्ञान मूर्तये
ज्ञानविज्ञानमूर्तये
ज्ञानेन्द्रिया मनोबुद्धिर्
ज्ञानेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धि
विकारैर्व्यक्तिमीयते
व्यक्तमीयुचे नमाद्याय बीजाय ज्ञानविज्ञानमूर्तये
ज्ञानविज्ञानमूर्तये
प्राणेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धि एक व्यक्तिमीयुषे नमाद्याय बीजाय ज्ञानविज्ञानमूर्तये प्राणेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धि विकारैर्व्यक्तिमीयुषे
नमाद्याय विद्याय
नमाद्याय बीजाय
ज्ञानविज्ञानमूर्तये
ज्ञानविज्ञानमूर्तये
प्राणेन्द्रियाय मनोबुद्धि
प्राणेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धि
विकाराय विक्तयं तिसि
विकारैर्व्यक्तिमीयुषे
Namah, word to word meaning, translated purport by Divine Grace of Srila Prabhupada ki Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances.
I affirm my respectful obeisances
Adhyaya unto the original living creature.
unto the original living creature
Bijaya,
Bijaya,
the seed of the cosmic manifestation.
the seed of the cosmic manifestation
Gyan,
Gyan
of knowledge.
of knowledge
Vijnana,
Vijnana
and of practical application.
and of practical application
Murtaye, unto the deity or form.
unto the deity of form
Prana,
Prana
of the life air.
of the life air
Indriya,
Indriya
of the senses.
the senses
Manaha
Of the mind.
of the mind
Buddhi,
Buddhi
of the intelligence.
the intelligence
Vikaraihi,
Vikarai
by transformations.
by transformation
Vyaktim,
Vyaktim
manifestation.
manifestation
Iyushe,
Ishe
who has obtained.
who has obtained.
Translation: I offer my obeisances to the original personality within the universe, Lord Brahma, who is cognizant and who can apply his mind and realized intelligence in creating this cosmic manifestation. It is because of his activities that everything within the universe is visible. He is therefore the cause of all manifestation. Please repeat after me. I offer my obeisances
I offer my obeisances
to the original personality of Godhead
to the original personality of Godhead
within this universe,
within this universe,
Lord Brahma,
Lord Brahma,
who is cognizant
who is cognizant
and who can apply his mind
and who can apply his mind
and realize intelligence
and realize intelligence
in creating this cosmic manifestation.
in creating this cosmic manifestation.
It is because of his activities
It is because of his activities
that everything within the universe
that everything within the universe
is visible.
is visible.
He is therefore
He is therefore
the cause of
the cause of
all manifestations.
all manifestations.
Purport: the Vedanta Sutra begins by declaring that the absolute person is the original source of all creation. Janmadhyasya yataha. One may ask whether Lord Brahma is the supreme absolute person. No. The supreme absolute person is Krishna. Brahma receives his mind, intelligence, materials, and everything else from Krishna. And then he becomes the secondary creator, the engineer of this universe. In this regard, we may note that the creation does not take place accidentally because of the because of the explosion of a chunk. Such nonsensical theories are not accepted by Vedic students. The first created living being is Brahma, who is endowed with perfect knowledge and intelligence by the Lord, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Hida Adi Kavaye. Although Brahma is the first created being, he is not independent, for he receives help from the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his heart. There is no one but Brahma at the time of creation, and therefore he receives his intelligence directly from the Lord through the heart. This has been discussed in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Brahma is described in this verse as the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, and this applies to his position in the material world. There are many, many such controllers, all of whom are created by the Supreme Lord Vishnu. This is illustrated by an accident. Sorry. This is illustrated by an incident. Universe was invited. Uh, Incident described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When the Brahma of this particular universe was invited by Krishna to Dwarka, he thought that he was the only Brahma. Therefore, when Krishna inquired from his servant which Brahma was at the door to visit, Lord Brahma was surprised. He replied that, of course, Lord Brahma, the father of the four Kumaras, was waiting at the door. Later, Lord Brahma asked Krishna why he had inquired which Brahma had come. He was then informed that there are millions of other Brahmas because there are millions of universes. Krishna then called all the Brahmas who immediately came to visit him. The Chaturmukha Brahma, the four-head Brahma of this universe, thought himself a very insignificant creature in the presence of so many Brahmas with so many heads. Thus, although there is a Brahma who is the engineer of each universe, Krishna is the original source of all of them. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैश्वनांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद एवं प्लीज हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे एवरीवन प्लीज लाउडली हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Welcome all of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Reading from 7th canto, 3rd chapter, verse 28. I'd like to seek the blessings of His Grace Muktanand Prabhu, who is very inspiring by his wonderful devotional service. Hare Krishna. So this chapter, Hiranyakashipu's plan to become immortal is going on, and Lord Brahma has appeared, being obliged to appear because of the austerities, penances performed by Hiranyakashipu. Very severe offenses. Sorry, penances.
Very severe offenses.
Yeah. In one sense, it is offensive because he is glorifying Brahma as a supreme. Brahma must be feeling offended. So that is true. So, actually, yeah. So here we find that how Hiranyakashipu had performed such severe penance, and we see that his entire body was eaten by ant, entire body. But still, Hiranyakashipu was going on. He did not waver from his determination to continue his austerities and you know mm, get the audience of Brahma. He was very determined so that he could get the boon of becoming immortal and then enjoy unlimitedly. That's what his plan was. So we find that even small ants, sometimes may crawl and we will just want to change our posture and immediately want to get rid of that, no matter how small and insignificant that ant would be, but it creates so much of disturbance. But Hiranyakashipu was so determined, for his plan to become immortal and to enjoy. So it's really, something which very wonderful. And here we find that Brahmaji has appeared. Brahmaji also was very surprised how he could perform such great austerity. And Brahmaji, when he appeared, then Hiranyakashipu is actually submitting to Brahma, and he's glorifying. He's saying that you are the original personality, and before that he says you're the supreme person. Also, he says, correct? Yeah, unto the supreme Lord within this universe, he says. So they find that how he is actually addressing the Brahma as Supreme Lord. But actually, we find, from all the Vedas and also Srila Prabhupada is telling in the purport that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, Krishna, not Brahma. So we find another episode also when Narada Muni, when he was also kind of bewildered and thinking that Brahmaji is the Supreme when he had appeared. Then Brahmaji immediately clarifies his position. He says, no, I am not. And then he tells that the Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Brahmaji is well aware of his position, but sometimes people may think Brahma to be the supreme because he is the first person born from Lord. He is the first living entity. And of course, he is the creator, meaning he is a secondary creator. He is not the first creator, the secondary creator. So actually, all the living entities they are from the Supreme Lord. The source of all living entities is Supreme Lord Krishna. Brahmaji only awakens all these living entities and gives them different material bodies, different forms. And then that's how he is a secondary creator. But he does all that in the mood of servant. Hmm? He just becomes the instrument in the hands of the Lord as secondary creator. So he says the absolute person is Krishna. And Brahma receives his mind, intelligence, materials, and everything else from Krishna. And then he becomes the secondary creator, the engineer of this universe. So Brahmaji is actually the secondary creator, not the primary. The divinities all belong to Krishna. And he does it very expertly. But but he's able to do it because Supreme Lord is empowering him. Without the empowerment of the Supreme Lord, Brahmaji cannot create. He cannot do this creation. So all the empowerment is coming from the Supreme Lord only. Because we find that when Brahmaji was, when he was born, when he was born out of that lotus from the navel of Lord Vishnu, we find that how Brahmaji was completely bewildered. He did not know from where he has come, what is the purpose of his existence, what he is supposed to do. Nothing he was aware. It was just water and completely dark. Wind was blowing and he was going up and down, trying to find the source of his origin from where he has come. He was wanting to know from where he has come, what is his origin, from what is his source. So he was going even down along with the stem. He was going down, but he was not able to see anything. He was completely not able to see anything. So, so Brahmaji was completely helpless. And that time, actually, because Brahmaji sincerely wanting to know, then he hears the voice, of the Lord in the form of tapa, 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 like that, tapa, that way. So when he hears this voice of tapa, then Brahmaji understands, okay, he's supposed to meditate on the Supreme Lord. And then he performs the penance. He performs the penance for 100 celestial years. And then after he performs the penance, then the Supreme Lord, he gives him audience. And then he is able to see the Lord. He is able to perceive the Lord. So that makes it very clear that actually even Brahmaji also receives all the revelations about the Supreme Lord from the Lord himself. And then Lord empowers him. In fact, Brahmaji then offers beautiful prayers also for empowerment. He even requests the Lord for protection from the pride, from deviation, and for empowerment. So he's praying. So that clearly shows that actually Brahmaji is not the supreme person. No, he's dependent on the Lord. Otherwise, how the Brahma would be helpless at the time of I mean, in the beginning of creation, when Brahmaji himself is born out of Lord Vishnu, he was completely perplexed. So, so here I'm just reading from second canto. He says that Lord says that it says, "O sinless Brahma, you may know from me that it was I who first ordered you to undergo penance, and when you were perplexed in your duty, such penance is my heart and soul, and therefore penance and I are non-different." So Brahmaji is telling that it was me only who actually gave you that understanding about myself. And yeah, and then he says, Lord says that I wish you good luck. O Brahma, you may ask from me, the giver of all benediction, that all that you may desire. You may know that the ultimate benediction as the result of all penances to see me by realization, he says this. And then he says, highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abode. And this has been possible of your submissive attitude in the performance of severe penance according to my order. So three things he says, that you are able to perceive my abode because of three things. One thing is submissive attitude, second is severe penance, and third is according to my order. Three things. So, and it's very profound actually, the way Prabhupada has put also in the translation, that Lord is telling that because you have been having a submissive attitude and you were ready to perform the severe penance and you did it on my order. So that's how you got it. So purport very beautiful. He says, the highest perfectional state of life is to know the Lord by actual perception, by the grace of the Lord. This can be attained by everyone who is willing to discharge the acts of devotional service to the Lord as enjoined in the revealed scriptures that are standard and accepted by the bona fide acharyas, spiritual masters. And then he says, in Bhagavad Gita, the personality of God, Sri Krishna, asked that one always be mindful of him, always be his devotee, always worship him only, and bow down to him. And by doing so, one is sure to go back home, back to God without any doubt. And then it says, and the Lord will, okay. And it says, in other places also same order is there, that one give up all other engagements and fully surrender unto the Lord without hesitation. And the Lord will give such a devotee all protection. These are the secrets of attaining the highest perfectional stage. Lord Brahma exactly followed these principles without any superiority complex. Thus, he attained the highest perfectional stage of experiencing the abode of the Lord and the Lord himself. And then he says, everyone is falsely or factually proud of his so-called learning, but the Lord says that the highest perfectional stage of learning is to know him and his abode, devoid of illusion. And he says that, O sinless Brahma, you may know from me that it was I first ordered you to undergo penance. When you are perplexed in your duty, such penance is my heart and soul. And therefore, penance and I are non-different. So here also, Hiranyakashipu is performing penance, but actually it is very displeasing. It was we see that how demigod became disturbed. Even Lord was not happy. Eventually, he said no. He was kind of gave some correction to Brahma that no, what kind of boons you have given. Be careful. So, so we find that how so much of trouble happened, and Lord was not pleased actually. But here Lord is telling that such penance is my heart and soul. Therefore, penance and I are non-different. So, what is that kind of penance? That penance is actually, Prabhupada will tell in purport very beautifully. Let us read that. Purport, he says, the penance by which one can see the personality of Godhead face to face is to be understood as devotional service. So, this is the penance, what we are supposed to perform. That is devotional service to the Lord and nothing else. Because only by discharging devotional service in the transcendental love can one approach the Lord. Such penance is the internal potency of the Lord and is non-different from him. Such penance is the internal potency. And that is Lord himself directly. Such acts of internal potency are exhibited by non-attachment for material enjoyment. Here we find that one test for this penance is not under internal potency is because here his entire penance is completely focused upon material enjoyment. He wants to become immortal and wants to lord over and enjoy being the lord of this universe. That's what he wanted to do. So, but here, Prabhupada is saying such acts of internal potency are exhibited by non-attachment for material things. The living entities are engaged in the conditions of material bondage because of their propensity for overlordships. Thus, by engagement in the devotional service of the Lord, one becomes detached from this enjoying spirit. The devotee automatically becomes detached from worldly enjoyment, and this detachment is a result of the perfect knowledge. Therefore, the penances of devotional service includes knowledge and detachment. And that is a manifestation of transcendental potency. You can see that. So he says, penance in devotional service of the Lord, either by voluntary submission or by being forced by the Lord, is necessary for attaining perfection. So, so here we can understand that penance is required, for getting the mercy of the Lord, but that penance is devotional service. Prabhupada makes it very clear. We have to perform devotional service. And then he says, Prabhupada says further in the purport, actually the translation is also beautiful. I create this cosmos by such penance. I maintain it by same energy, Lord is saying, and I withdraw it all by the same energy. Therefore, the potent power is penance only. Prabhupada says in purport, in executing penance, one must be determined to return home back to Godhead and must decide to undergo all types of tribulations for that end. Even for material prosperity, name and fame, one has to undergo. Haribol. Listen. Even for material prosperity, name and fame, listen. Even for material prosperity, name and fame, one has to undergo severe types of penance. Otherwise, no one can become an important figure in this material world. Why then would there not be severe types of penance for the perfection of devotional service? The severe types of penance. An easygoing life and attainment of perfection in transcendental realization cannot go together. The Lord is more clever than any living entity. Therefore, he wants to see how painstaking the devotee is in devotional service. So all our pains what we have to take is in devotional service only. It's not that something else we have to do. We don't have to go, to some place like Hiranyakashipu had gone and, standing and, doing that kind of austerity. So, but yes, a devotee is very austere. How? But in the service of the Lord. The Lord is more clear than it. So he wants to see how pain is taking the devotees in devotional service. So devotee is taking a lot of pain, in devotional service. The order is received from the Lord, either directly or through the bona fide spiritual master. And to execute that order, however pain is taken, is a severe type of penance. So to execute the order, so devotee may be taking some pain, no matter how much it is painful, but devotee is willing to do that. We can see in life of Srila Prabhupada also, it was so painstaking actually, at the age of 70, coming from Vrindavan to West, it's not ordinary. It's so much of effort, so much of pain, so much of difficulty, but Prabhupada was ready. One who follows the principle rigidly is sure to achieve success in attaining Lord's mercy. So this, as you can see that how painstakingly, devotee may perform devotional service. So, but what happens when Lord sees how a devotee is taking so much of pain in performing devotional service, that melts the heart of the Lord. That melts the heart of the Lord, and Lord becomes. The devotee becomes very dear to the Lord. So we should have this motive that let me do everything what is required to please the spiritual master and the Lord, so that we get the attention of the Lord. We also become dear to the Lord. So that penance makes us dear to the Lord. In penance and devotional service makes us dear to the Lord. So because and then when Lord is pleased, and then Lord can actually reveal Himself. Then Lord will reveal Himself. And then only we can understand the Lord. Then only we can know who is the Supreme Lord, and we can be engaged in devotional service very nicely. So then he says, so he says, Brahmaji does not want to become a speculator, dependent on the strength of his personal knowledge and conditioned to material bondage. Everyone should know in clear consciousness that one is in the execution of all activities an instrument. So Brahmaji also is just trying to be an instrument in this creation. So Prabhupada writes in purport, everyone should know in clear consciousness that one is in the execution of all activities an instrument. A conditioned soul is instrument in the hands of external energy, Gunamai Maya, or the illusory energy of the Lord. And in the liberated state, the living entity is instrumental to the will of the personality of Godhead directly. So to be instrumental to the direct will of the Lord is the natural constitutional position of the living entity, whereas to be an instrument in the hands of the illusory energy of the Lord is material bondage for the living entity. And then he says, Bhagavad Gita confirms emphatically that pure devotees who are constantly engaged in the living transcendental service of the Lord are directly advised by the Lord. So much so that the devotee unwaveringly makes progress on the path home back to Godhead. Pure devotees of the Lord are therefore not proud of their definite progress, where the non-devotee speculator is in the darkness of illusory energy and is very much proud of misleading knowledge based on speculation without any definite path. Lord Brahma wanted to be saved from that pitfall of pride, although he was posted in the most exalted position within the universe. So we can see that how here Lord Brahma, he is becoming an instrument in the hands of the Lord, and this is what is this is what should be the desire of any devotee, just wanting to be the instrument. So that is the part of humility, because we know that we are completely dependent on the Lord, and we are meant to serve the Lord. So accepting this position of ours as servant, and then trying only to be an instrument, in executing the will of the Lord is actually the path of pure devotion. So we are simply ready to become the instrument, in the hands of the Lord, in the hands of Guru and Krishna. So here we find that how Lord is being, here it is written also that how Lord actually gave the knowledge, in the heart of Brahma. So Lord empowered him because Brahma, he took shelter. He was humble, and he understood he's simply, instrument. He can only be an instrument in the hand of the Lord. He performed the penance and he pleased the Lord, and the Lord gave him the knowledge. And it says, although Brahma is the first created being, he is not independent, for he receives help from the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his heart. There is no one but Brahma at time of creation, therefore he receives his intelligence directly from the Lord through the heart. So we also have, Guru Parampara, and we can receive the instruction. Like in the rest told, the beginning, three things. What are the things? Submissive attitude,
Penance.
Severe
severe penance, and
obeys it.
Order. Following the orders.
according to my order, like that. So these three things are, important for us to attain perfection, to attract the mercy of the Lord. So this is how we have to perform our penance. So submissive attitude. We can see here Brahmaji is submissive to the Lord. And then Prabhupada says also how that incident of where Brahmaji, when went to meet Krishna in Dwarka. So that time Krishna thoroughly made him understand that he is just one of the small insignificant part and parcel of him. So there is no scope of any pride, for any soul in this entire creation, because Ekaleshwara Krishna Arsava Bhritya. So Brahmaji was thinking that he is the only Brahma, but Krishna made him understand that actually there are many Brahmas. So many universes, there are so many Brahmas, and in fact our universe is the smallest, and our Brahma is the smallest. It has only 4 heads. But many other Brahma, they had so many heads like that. And they were all bowing down to the Lord with all their helmets, with all their heads. It's difficult to perceive how so many heads, how they would be looking like and how they'll be opening our senses, which will be the front, which will be the back. It's difficult to understand, but they're all actually, just offering obeisances. And this Brahma was completely bewildered. Bewildered means he completely got realized, realization that how he's such an insignificant, amongst all of them. And there were millions of Brahmas actually, millions of Brahmas. Can you imagine? Millions of Brahmas. So no matter what position one may take in this material, in this creation, so his position is very insignificant. One shouldn't have any pride of having any position in this world, whether it is Brahma or whether it is Indra or it's some prime minister or president of any country or anything. Nobody can feel proud of anything actually, because he's simply servant. He's simply insignificant servant. Krishna has so many servants. Lakshmi Sahata Sata Sambrama Sevemanam. There are hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis also serving the Supreme Lord. So and the biggest position holder of this material world, somebody who's is held the biggest position, he's just getting some favor of Mother Lakshmi in terms of that fortune of opulences, whatever. And there are hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis, no, they are serving the Lord. So this humble mood is very, very important. So proper, I mean, it is also, proper, some says right also, no, the humility also means being honest. Honest means honest of our position as servant of Krishna, servant of Guru. So, and also Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita purport, he says, humility means not being anxious, to have satisfaction of being honored by others. Not being anxious to have satisfaction of being honored by others. So that means that devotee is honest that actually he is not supposed to get satisfaction. His ego should not be the center of his. He should not be endeavoring for his satisfaction, means his ego satisfaction, but rather he exists only for the satisfaction of Krishna and Guru. So his endeavor is to satisfy Guru and Krishna. So that is being honest. So spiritual master is also always acting for the satisfaction of his spiritual master and the Lord. That is what he is doing. So so all the devotees' only business should be to just work for the satisfaction of Guru, satisfaction of Krishna. That's what Prabhupada says in that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comment. He quotes the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary in the verse of Bhagavad Gita purport on Vaya Satvika Buddhi. He says that the secret of success in spiritual life is satisfaction of the bona fide spiritual master, like that. So a devotee of the Lord, he always works for the satisfaction of the Lord. Why he is able to do that? Because he is in complete clear consciousness that he is simply a servant of Guru and Krishna. If this clarity is there, one will simply engage in devotional service. That's all. So humility is the qualification, like that. We find also Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, when they approached the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so they were completely humble. They were even saying that we consider ourselves to be great pandit, but people also say us great pandit, and we also think like that. But actually, we are fool. We don't know who am I, why I'm suffering in this world. So they approached Lord Chaitanya with great humility. We find that, But Roma Harsha Sutta, he was having so much of knowledge, but he was proud. So he did not get the mercy of the Lord. You can see. But here, Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami were very humble, like that. You find the South Indian Brahmana was very humble. He was simply satisfying his spiritual master. And he got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. But there are so many other scholars, they did not get. They were very proud of their learning. We find that Keshav Kashmiri, when he also came to debate, so that time he couldn't understand. He was just debating with the Lord only. But then later, when he got humiliated, and then later, when by the grace of Mother Saraswati, he got to understand his position, and then Mother Saraswati's position also as being servant of Lord Krishna. And then he, humbly, then he became humble and he, took shelter of Lord Chaitanya. Then he could understand that way. So you can see that only by humility, when somebody submissively approaches the Supreme Lord and Guru, then one can actually, understand the Lord. Prabhupada also says that many people, they don't surrender to Krishna because of the stubborn obstinacy, they're puffed up. Poor fund of knowledge, he says, and he says stubborn obstinacy also. So basically, they are so puffed up and that they don't want to take shelter. So the submissive attitude is very, very, vital, being submissive. So there was a nice anecdote of Prabhupada telling about how we should just feel ourselves very insignificant. So it's very nice. It says that on another of Tamal Krishna's Delhi visit, he showed Prabhupada's painting just completed by Muralidhar, a new devotee. The picture showed the spiritual sky and its spiritual planets with the material world in one corner. Prabhupada liked the painting. Referring to the painting, he explained to Tamal Krishna the plan of the total creation. Krishna, he began as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in the topmost planet, Krishna Loka. Around Krishna Loka are innumerable spiritual planets, residences of the 400 Narayana, expansions of the Lord. The planets are all situated in the unlimited effulgence of the Brahman sky, which is actually the effulgence of Krishna's body. And in one tiny corner of this sky exists the entire material world. The material world emanates, the material world emanates from Lord Krishna's expansion, Mahavishnu, who lives in causal ocean, emanating innumerable material universes from his breathing and from the pores of his body. Within each universe, Mahavishnu then further expands as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who generates the planets within the universe. The Earth's planet is situated among the middle planetary systems, and in comparison to the entire universe, is as insignificant as a speck of dust. And yet, on this speck of dust, there are several continents. Prabhupada continued to explain, directing Tamal Krishna's attention to the painting. And out of all these different continents, Prabhupada said, there is America. And even within America, there are so many cities. And one of those cities is Los Angeles. So here in Los Angeles, also there are many places. And then out of them, one of them is our temple. And in this temple, there is one Tamal Krishna. And he is thinking that he is very, very important. Tamal Krishna was startled. Prabhupada looked at him and simply smiled. so, so you can see here, Prabhupada is, Tamal Krishna Maharaj is a very big devotee. But Prabhupada is just, reminding him of, his humble position as servant of, Krishna, an insignificant servant of Krishna. So Prabhupada, another occasion also he says very nice. So he says, it's very nice. He says that one boy asked, attending Srila Prabhupada's classes asked, why is it that one time I feel this way, like you say, surrendered, but at other times I forget? Prabhupada says, that is Maya. That is our battle with Maya. We are in Maya's kingdom. So we have to fight. It is like an ocean, birth and death. There's so many universes and so many species of life, and we are transmigrating birth after birth. It is like you are standing on the edge of a boat, and just a little show, you may fall into the ocean. Then you do not know where you are going, here or there. So it is like that. If you want to keep back even 1% to surrender all, but 1%, then you have to stay here. Krishna is so strict. If you have any desire for material enjoyment, you have to remain. Just 1% may take millions of years. So you have to surrender everything. Krishna consciousness is already there within you and within everyone, but it has to be invoked. It is like a match. And if you rub it, fire comes out. And that rubbing process is chanting. So we have to inject Krishna consciousness into ear, and we have to go on injecting wherever you go. You have to chant without any motive, like that. I think there was something else I wanted to read. Anyways. Yeah, this one, sorry, this one I wanted to read. But that one's also very beautiful. So she writes that Govinda Dasi, she asked Prabhupada, what does it mean exactly to surrender? So Prabhupada says, surrender, Prabhupada replied, is to know that I am nothing. I am nothing. As Prabhupada spoke, Govinda Dasi, accustomed to taking dictation, wrote down the answer, while other devotees, some seated on the floor around Prabhupada's desk, some standing in the doorway, listened attentively. I should know, Prabhupada continued, I am less than the stool of a hawk. And Krishna, you are everything. That is very difficult. We can find millions of Isaac Newtons and Einsteins, but one very rare soul might be surrendered to Krishna because it is very difficult. So as long as you are thinking that he is more learned than me or I am more learned than him, that is material. You must know that you are nothing and surrender. Nothing means very insignificant. We are insignificant part and parcel of Krishna. So the degree we are honest to our position as insignificant, servant of Lord and his devotees, to that degree we can be engaged in devotional service. Then we'll not have any excuse, because we know this is what my position is. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to. That's how I'm supposed to serve. So, so those who are really humble, they will actually, they are actually honest to their position, and that's how they are always engaged in the service of the Lord. So humility does not mean just some kind of external demonstration of gestures and postures and words, and that's okay. He's very humble. That's not the real humility. There are many, many people, so-called big people in this world, they are admired for their humility, but they have no engagement in devotion service. So that is not humility. We find that even Jarasandha was, very humble towards Brahmanas. He very humbly served Brahmanas, but his motive was to actually get the powers, and he wanted to defeat Krishna and all. And so this is not humility. Duryodhana also very humbly served Durvasa Muni. Was very humbly taking care of all the aspects of details of the service to Durvasa Muni with the intention that he pleases Durvasa Muni and then he will request him to go and trouble Pandavas. So humility actually is very properly defined, that actually one is aware of his position as insignificant servant of Krishna, and he is only working for the satisfaction of Krishna, not being anxious to be honored by, not being anxious to have satisfaction of being honored by others. So not having that anxiousness, we should be anxious to satisfy Krishna, anxious to glorify Krishna, anxious to glorify Guru. That should be our motto, And for that, we can be very daring, Devotees can be very daring in his services. It's not that that Okay, Prabhu, I'm very humble, so I don't want to do any service, Prabhu. I'm not qualified, Sometimes when we say, Prabhu, I'm so unqualified, I cannot preach. I'm so unqualified. I cannot do, anything. No cooking, no singing, because I am not qualified. So that is not the real humility. The devotee feels he is not qualified for anything, but he knows that if Lord wants, he can be instrument. So he simply wants to be instrument, and that is our position. We can only be instrument. We are not glorified for being the doer of anything. Krishna is the doer, just like the instrument. Say some veena, something is there, so somebody can play the veena. So nobody glorifies the veena, right? It's the person who is playing. Oh, he's such a person. He's such a great musician. So, okay, the veena can be given respect for his being a good instrument. Correct, no? That's the only thing. So, that's what we should be knowing. That's our position. They are simply instrument of the Lord. So, we should be willing to be instrument, that's all. And any kind of pride which may come in our heart is only because when we forget this, that we are simply insignificant instrument in the hands of the Lord. Lord is the actual doer. Prakriti kremanani gune karmani sarvashah ahankara mudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Yeah, so when you start thinking that we are the doer, so then we are actually on the trap of pride that way. So devotee should. So that's why a honest devotee will always be humble, not understanding he can only be instrument. So here Prabhupada says also, no, so he says, uh, he says that. For the service of the Lord, the devotee is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one is fixed in Krishna consciousness as neither attachment nor detachment because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. So consequently, he is not at all angry even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination. So why it is possible? Because he knows that in all situations of life, he's simply supposed to serve them. There's nothing else to be done. And that is being really humble. So Brahmaji is humble and he's serving. You can see also, after that, such a huge creation, he is becoming the instrument like that. So it is not that. So humility, real humility means person will be thoroughly engaged in the service of the Lord. That way, he is the 100%. He will be active and daring in the service of the Lord. Understanding the instrument. That is real humility. Hare Krishna. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.